painting Saturday night on the 999 ASMR Tarot. I'm going to start out showing you the paints I use on my palette. I took the liberty of cleaning my palette out, and this episode goes out for Day by Day Christine. This is for you. And I just cleaned this out a few minutes ago, and so I use, for depending on the types of, a little crazy under welcome, depending on the type of painting I do, I use Amsterdam series acrylics, and these ones here are student grade, and so for like practice paintings and painting on paper, I generally just use this. But when I go to doing painting on canvases and paintings for things that might become actual wall hangings for people, I use this brand, the Golden Artist Colors Golden brand, and that's how I do that. And I don't have any primary yellow left in the Amsterdam series, so I'm just going to add this one to my into my palette thing. And so this is an airtight palette box, and so I'm going to just put a little bit of paint in here. That way I don't have to waste too much paint, and we'll put that in there. And I'm just going to put in the colors that I will be using in these paintings. I know I have more primary white, but I thought I had more in that. Oh shoot, I don't have enough. I do have more of it. I got to go in the other room and get it. I couldn't find it in that box. We're going to need this primary white. This is not primary white. This is titanium white. Let's empty this out. I may not need more than that for this little painting. What we're going to be doing here is this right here. That's the painting we're going to be doing. Just a little feller. All right, so get that filled up. Squeeze it out like a toothpaste. Generally, I've been with this. I use two little of these little squares as white. Okay. And titanium white, this is primary cyan. Primary cyan. Let's just put this in here. I'm sure everybody who's looking in is going to drop off any second now. Not much going on. Okay, I'm going to fill that up. So this is primary cyan. Now this is not this is the inferior, like a Walmart brand of paint, Art Advantage. I think I may have got it at Fred Meyer's. But this is a phthalo blue. It's good enough for practice paintings, and so just have a little different shade of blue. The different blues, they just sort of behave differently. But what we are going to be doing a lot of is, in this painting, I'm also going to be using a glazing fluid in order to thin down the paint, so to make them a little bit less opaque, a little bit more semi-transparent. And when there is a method of painting, in painting with semi-transparents, in order to blend, to go layer by layer to make these colors, and go layer by layer, but you wait for one layer to dry, and then you apply another one. But luckily, because this is an acrylic, and acrylic paints they dry really fast. Now I really like these fluorescent colors. I like bright colors, and bright colors, they work really good when you're doing things like painting sunsets and whatnot. And I like, this is a like a reflex rose. So it is rated as a red. It looks pink, fuchsia, but it really is, it's just fluorescent red. And I like fluorescent red as well. When to mixing that with blues, it makes a really a dynamic blue color. And so this is just magenta, primary magenta. I hope I have enough left in here. I don't think I bought another one of these yet. So we're just going to put a little in there. A little red goes a long ways. But because it's ocean, I don't think I'm going to add. I have very little of this left, but I have some more in the other room. So this is yellow oxide. Yellow oxide is, and that's also, well, this one is Liquitex, and Liquitex is actually a professional grade paint. And so I use, but it's, anyways, I don't know if I can get enough of it out of there. Alexis, welcome, welcome. I'm going to be beginning my little painting demonstration here in a few minutes. Well, I'm not going to be able to coax any of that out of there now. And now then I have black. I got quite a bit of black, so I'm just going to take two sorts here and fill the black up. Boop, boop. And then boop, boop, boop. There we go. Toothpaste. Yeah, Scott Brown, welcome. Toothpaste. Acrylic toothpaste. Okay. So this is the... So this is Painting Saturday. This is the reference photo. And I'm just going to set this up here just for a second. And this is the canvas I'm going to be using. It's got an underpainting on it that I did a while ago. And I need a pencil. I need a pencil to pencil in what we're going to do. I'm going to pencil in. So in this picture, so the water part is just going to be the smallest part here. It's just the smallest part of the painting. And so I just want to do a rough pencil in of where the boundaries are and so forth. So I'll just use this. This is a Faber-Castell watercolor pencil, a watercolor pencil. And so I'm going to put the water line in just like here. It's about 1/3 of the way. It's not quite a straight line, so I'm going to put it right across here. That's no good. All right, let's just... Does it need to be a straight line? Does it have to be a straight line? Oh, it moved again. Oh, it's fine. It's straight enough. Straight enough. That's the main thing. It's straight enough. And so we're going to put like I'll move these over here. I'll take this and move it up there. I don't think I'm going to put all the boats in. But we'll put one boat. We'll just kind of like a rough sketch of where it's at. Maybe there's the mast. And we got just a boat. And because it's ocean, I'm not going to worry about any reflection because there ain't going to be no reflection. And then we got some sails that are over here. And then maybe we'll have one of them that's right on the horizon line. And then that will show that it's farther away. There's the mast. Maybe the sails is flowing over here like this. And then got a boat. Something like that. So that's something you, when you do your painting, your techniques, is you want to. But we're going to be painting over this, and most likely our rough sketch and everything is going to just vanish right into the overpaint. Okay, so I'm going to put this away, and we're going to get going. So we're going to be using a glazing fluid. Oh, the glazing fluid is not in that, is not in there. I got to go open up one of my, I got to get the glazing fluid. I didn't get that out. And you can use water to thin out your paints. Nope, this is acrylic. It's acrylic. I paint mostly in acrylics. And so I'm going to add the glazing fluid off onto the side into its own little container. Hopefully I can get it out of here. It doesn't want to come out. Have I even opened this up yet? I'll just pour it in there. Probably like that. And so, like, as per usual, acrylic, yes. I have started with the sky and then moved on to the water. And so we will just carry on with that tradition and just do it that way. And let me see, do I use a different kind of brush on this one? I think we might use, yeah, we'll just use these. It's got a lot of water in there. I just washed that brush. It hasn't hardened. No, actually, that is the way it is. It's not a white, it's the glazing fluid. And as many may have known, I took like 2 weeks off of so we're gonna just take a white. We're gonna thin down some titanium white here. I'm gonna start there with a little bit of blue. We'll use this phthalo blue over here. And so we'll make a thin down blue. I'm gonna come down a layer. Add a lot more. So you can, as you see, we're starting with an underpainting. So I'm going to make it a very light blue. Paper. I'm painting on paper. And I did a underpainting. And it's going to add in a lot more of this. All right. I think what I'm going to do, I might actually use some of this down here, blocking it in here, just a little bit, and then, because I want to use a different brush, but we're going to just clean the brush off a little bit onto here, making sure that when we get towards the horizon line, then I want that paint to be even thinner and whiter. So I'm just going to mix up another color into here. Oh, underpainting is, it's just like so instead of starting from a all white background, you start out with a layered of a layer of this has 4 different layers of paint right underneath it. And the underpainting helps to bring out the depth of the overpainting. And it's I so like if you were, let's say you were painting in using pastels to paint and you're trying to do flowers. Yes, it's layered. So the layer is when you do a solid color underpainting, it is a warm color followed by a cool color followed by a warm color followed by another cool color, and then so it's warm, cool, warm, and preferably some other cool color like a green, like that. Yeah. So um, and then in it, but it's not opaque colors. It's very transparent. So to making your paint, your coloring more transparent. I'll show you what I mean by transparent. And this paint here is actually a little bit more opaque than I wanted to use, but this here is a piece of canvas here, and depending on how you can see this line coming through. So let's say we just take it here. We just run here. Well, this is actually paint is really opaque, but you can kind of see that line under it. But if we go and take what you want to do with what your goal here is to make this layer of paint thinner to the point that you can still see the line underneath it. And this is actually still too opaque. But so you paint it, you run it back here, and you can kind of see it here. So this here makes it a bit more semi-transparent. So this would be semi-transparent. So transparent would mean you'd literally be able to see the line right underneath it. And whereas if it's opaque, and I take opaque like this, and I paint over it, and you can't see that line underneath it at all. And so so when I'm talking about transparent and semi-transparent, where this is what you're working with, is you want to make those colors as transparent as possible. And then also the other goal is, if you're going to be painting more like, I don't know if other painters use this method. You know, I didn't start using this method till just very recently, actually. I was watching like tutorials. I was watching these 2 hour long videos of people painting with pastels, because I have a set of wax pastels, and I still haven't figured out how to use them yet. So I was watching to see how to use them, but I ran across like oil pastels and chalk pastels on how to use those, and that's where I ran across the whole underpainting thing. And so then I started looking up more underpaintings and things like that, and then so that's how I learned about this. Now no, I didn't see I didn't see Ray Tacoma's one, but what I don't remember. I don't remember whose tutorials I saw, but I did post on my community page, post, the channel where I got this underpainting method from, and then I think his name is like Max Cole painting or something like that, and so what you can definitely see this when you do it on canvas, but when you do the underpainting and you do the transparent layers of colors, it adds more depth to your painting. So your painting is more three-dimensional. So that's kind of so what we're going to do here. This is my first layer. I'm going to come in. I should get my hair dryer out and to do that. We'll let those colors shine through there, and so it darkens things up. So I'm going to just come up a color. I think I'll put this brush aside, and I'm going to use a smaller brush. And I like this one here. This is a cut down filbert. Yeah. And so we're just going to, sometimes I just mix right on the damn page, and so I want to just, this is that glazing fluid. I'm just going to put this glazing fluid right on here. There is actually no right or wrong answers on how to do this stuff. And because this is a practice painting, that's why I'm doing it this way. And then I'm going to mix it down with some water. This is a thin coat of white, and I'm putting it down here. So in this one, I'm thinking, then we're gonna bring it up and we're gonna blend it up. Just blend it up. So it's a color by color. I'm gonna bring it up. You know, if it doesn't work out, it doesn't work out as far as getting the boats and stuff in there. But but at the very least, what we're looking at is a layered painting tutorial. And then with the paints that I use for practice paintings for Day by Day Christine, who requested that I do this video. And I'm running this in a side-by-side motion. Now, granted, in the reference photo, the sky doesn't look like anything like this. But what I want to try to achieve here is this effect here of it looking like it's going to go clear out to infinity, clear out here. So we're looking at these color values in here. And so this is darker, and it gets lighter and lighter and lighter. So I got this white light layer right there. And so then I'm just going to bring the colors up a bit, and so forth. And something should work out, right? If it doesn't exactly turn out like I said, it's okay. There's always next week. We can do, or I can try this again tomorrow afternoon. All right. And making sure that I don't wipe that color off. Okay, so let's come up and make another shade of blue here. But I think this next shade of blue, I'm gonna use some of this red in here. I'm gonna use some of this fluorescent red, and we're gonna put it in right in here. So it'll make it kind of a lavender color. I really just like how this works here. I'm gonna mix it in with the brush. And see, that's a really nice shade here. And so we're going to go back in, going to go grab that glazing fluid, and then going to put this in here. I'm going to test it out. Test it out to see how transparent it is. It's still really opaque. But we'll put a little water in it. And with a little water, still pretty opaque. So it needs more water. You can kind of see the line under it. So this is in the category, I still want it to get it lighter, get it more transparent. It's got a lot of water in here. Swirls over his painting. Huh. And let's just see. Well, you can see the line underneath it. So maybe the best we can achieve here is semi-transparent. And so semi-transparent will probably be good enough. So then we're going to come up here with this layer of this darker layer of the lavender. And hopefully, so we're just not going to really worry about get it kind of blended in there. I'm not going to go over this with a blending brush or anything like that. But we want all those colors in here. Eric Ladd's breath. Swirls over his painting. I don't understand what that is, but that was on Twitch. I don't really have Twitch, so. All right. Let's see how that looks. More layers. Let's do more layers. And then we're just going to go back in. We're just going to run that glazing fluid, more glazing fluid in this other blue here. One of the things we don't want to do is put any yellow in the sky. We're not going to have any yellow in this painting anyway. So I think I want to make it just a little darker. Let's see what happens if I take a little bit of this black and I put it in here. So it'll make it a bit more gray. More gray. Okay, so I'm going to add more of that glazing fluid to it. And we're going to put this in up at the top. Just a little bit of a light coat, lightly in here. So maybe these are where the clouds are at. Mixed side-by-side clouds. Like that. So actually it's starting to get like an effect like it's looking far, far away. I have not watched Karen Fitzpatrick. I haven't watched Karen Fitzpatrick before. But a lot of people, when they're doing like their 5-minute paintings or they're doing their things, they're really starting off a blank canvas, and which is what you can do in 5 minutes. Okay, so I'm going to come and add some of that lavender into here. take it off that brush, squeeze it off that brush. Another shade. You know, all right, I'm not going to rush my work. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to grab my hair dryer that's right behind me and plug it in. And because I just finished my dinner just a few minutes before I started the stream. But don't worry, I'm not going to blast your ears out. I'm going to mute the camera before I turn the hair dryer on here. And this way we I'm going to dry this down so I can work faster. So I'm pushing the mute button now. Yeah, well, okay, so Mr. Whitecliff, when you are, I better put this brush over here. I don't want it to dry out. When you are painting if you're doing a practice painting, using a hair dryer is perfectly fine. But when you use this glazing method of using glazing fluids and gel mediums, I don't know, 1875? I don't know, something like that. So when you use when you've used, when you're painting on like like if you wanted to, you're doing a painting for like one of your clients, or you're doing it for like a wall hanging that you're going to give away as a gift, you're not going to want to use a hair dryer to dry your paint, because if you dry the paints too fast, they'll crack. And so anyway, then you've just ruined your painting. So I'm going to come in and bring in just some more other shades in here. Let's touch it up here. See, already I'm looking at this and I can see, some complexities in here. It might, but maybe you would like the paint to crack after it sat on somebody's wall for like 20 years. Then it cracked on your wall, and and you didn't sell it with cracked paint on it. And so I'm going to come in now and start working on those clouds. And so we will use a different brush. I think I'll use this filbert brush here, and instead I'm going to make the lighter shade of the white, and we're going to put that right over here. And scoop up some of this glazing fluid. I'm going to thin it down. Just kind of mix it in here really good. And we'll do that test here to see how it looks. As far as we have the line here, and we'll just put a little bit on there. And you can see this actually is transparent. What do you mean? Do I add the acrylic? This is all acrylic. I mean the glazing fluid. In this exercise, I've been using the glazing fluid at every step along the way, and I do kind of paint in two different. I guess I use three different brands of paint. I use Golden, Amsterdam, and Liquitex. And so and depending on the sometimes I don't use any of the glazing fluid. Sometimes I use gel medium, and sometimes I just use water. Now I'm doing a commission of right now for some Christmas cards, and I was going to do it over my break, but like these are some of the Christmas cards. This is cards that I've done, and I did not use any glazing fluid or gel medium or anything like this on that. I just thin things down with water, and so that's that. I have so my yeah, and so we're just gonna put just put this in here, sort of a light touch to try to get those clouds, effect of the clouds. Looks like Lake Powell now. Yeah, yeah. That's gonna work on that. I never used a hairdryer on my painting until I started live streaming paintings. And like I say, I really, the whole, doing a couple, what was it, 4 years ago that I was working on a painting, and I was displaying pictures of it on Facebook, and other artist friends kept on saying, "Oh, more layers, more layers, more layers." I had no idea what they were talking about 4 years ago. What more layers, what that meant, and of course I thought, well, more layers of paint, but so we're just trying to get that in here. I think it has the effect of maybe we're looking like we have some clouds in here. My patience, yeah, I got a lot of patience sometimes. Let's put all that on here. Maybe get some more, thin it down. There we go. Maybe just a little bit down in here. There we go. Oh, it's starting to have a nice effect to it. Yeah, when it starts to look like mud, then when it starts to look like mud, then you've just ruined your painting. That, that's that's the general rule of thumb when it comes to that. Make sure you don't ruin your painting, whatever you're doing. I'm gonna put some of this darker blue up here. Over the top of it there. In different colors and textures. Some more of that lavender on top. I'm going to come back over it with that thin coat of white just to... yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I've ruined a lot of paintings from, but that's all part of the process, you know. I have like in this room here, which is my bedroom. I have stuff, paintings that I did like when I first started painting, and I could paint over those things, but I keep them because it's like it shows from where I came from, where I've been. And I think that's kind of important. This I picked up a little black on here, and hopefully it doesn't. It'll just add some more darkness on it here. I'm not gonna do too much over here. There we go. Okay, I'm gonna get the hair dryer out again, and then yes, that's right. We have you have we. That's what happens. We do ruin a lot. That's all part of the process. Okay, I'm gonna mute things. All right, let's go back in, and I'm gonna clean that brush off. We're gonna go back in and do another shade of the white, of transparent white. I'm just gonna try to make it even more transparent than I did before. Pick it up here. Just gonna mix that in. I took this picture in Hawaii, and yeah, I was like watching something on Hawaii, I think this morning. I really miss Hawaii. It'd be like one of those things if I ever won a big giant lottery jackpot that I'd like to live on Oahu. But when I was there, they had like $1 million condos, and I thought, which that was in 2018, and I thought, boy, that's a lot of money for a condo. But they're probably even higher. They were talking about $1 million for a 10 by 15 condo. I mean, can you imagine that? 10 by 15. But it's on Oahu. I mean, in a high rise, just about, you know. So let's see. We're going to add some more on here. So you can see the depth in it. Yeah. Okay, that's going to, we can't have a white spot there. I should squeeze that paint off, but that's fine. We can have it. I think that's all of the paint I'm going to use, the white I'm going to use on this here. Got a little white on the underside there. Maybe some different shapes. So yeah. Not live in a high rise. I lived in a high rise before, but it wasn't that high. It was like I think 10 stories tall. It was in Seattle. And it was a 10 by 15 apartment as well that I was paying $600 a month for, but this is like 20 years ago. I mean, it's 20 years ago now. Gonna bring this down, that white down here, clear down by the they should live close to the ground. Well, I live close to the ground now. I live close. I live roughly a 30-minute drive away from the Oregon coast. It's really nice. I don't get to go as often as I used to. And, there we go. So, let's see. A little bit more. I think more. I got this lavender. I got some more of this lavender. We're going to put it right in here. A little bit of that gray. Let's pick it up. So I really want to get this effect where there is a definite line in between here and there, because it will make it seem like this is a far, far away. You will get this far, far away effect if you do it, and if it's done right. And so I think I have an example for something that I've done. Oh, actually, I think it's right behind here. Yeah. Like with this one here. And you can get a far, far away by just doing color layers here. Far, far away effect. And having that lavender in the sky is nice. Is this nice? And when you use that reflex, those reflex colors, the neons, then because those are colors that light reflects off of them, and so it really makes a nice, really nice shade. I don't know. I just like how those colors blend in. And so here we're kind of working on the cloud bank. I think that cloud bank's looking a little bit better there. Come up here, but you do have to worry about scraping the color off. That is one of the things, is that you can end up lifting the colors right off here. I'm just gonna just dab this in here. Thin coats here. There. Make a really pretty sky. Here we go. I spend a lot of time on the sky. Now let's just take the color down here and put it on there. We are going to want to put those boats in now. I think where did I have them at? I guess it doesn't matter, does it? We have one here, and I'm going to put the boat body in it anyways. I think what I'll do is take one of these other colors out, this gray that I built, and we'll just lay it in here. Maybe we'll just as an initial coat. I'm sorry, I can't seem to talk right today. And we got the boat body there. All right, let's build a transparent black. I'm going to use just a little bit of black. Oh, well, maybe is that there? Is that working? It's kind of transparent, so I'm going to just put it in here. I haven't really done a picture with a boat in it for a long time, so we're going to come up with the mast. And a real big tall mast. Maybe the boat should be longer. There we go, about halfway up. Yeah, I think the boat should be longer. A little bit longer. I like these brushes a lot. When I first started painting, I was using the smaller filberts. I used these shorter ones. But it's taken me years, technique-wise, to use a brush like this, just to, because you gotta be really light touch, and that just takes a while to do that. You know, you're training your hands, you're getting the muscles in there. I suppose it means that I really need to train myself on how to literally draw, which, you know, like doing sketch work and so forth. And I'm not really very good at that as far as like sketching, especially sketching people. That's one of my biggest weaknesses as an artist is that I have poured in a lot more effort into doing video work, though. Well, I don't know. I mean, editing on the telephone is really hard. I can tell you that as a Gary, that is like really hard. I think for this one, I'm gonna make the sail like that, and use like maybe it would be good on the front. Maybe that would be good like that on the front. And another little boat clear over here. So it has a little boat in the back. So it's farther away. That. This mast is a little taller. There. Just kind of fill in. And so since it's like it's sunset, we can just make it silhouetted, make it all silhouetted, and then we don't have to worry about coloring what the color these boats are. I'm just going to block this one in a little bit further away. Big red sail. Put the curvature in there so that makes it seem like the wind has actually kicked up into it a little bit. Got some motion. All right, well, we kicked up some black in there. That's all right. Here we go. This is a real fun exercise. I don't know about you, but I'm certainly am enjoying myself. So if you're just joining, this is the 999 ASMR Tarot, and we are working on doing a multi-layered ocean scene over an underpainting. So I'm just going to put this in here. Little short little flecks in there, and come up to the surface there, make it a little bit darker there. It's kind of thin little lines. This is a little bit more than a 5-minute painting. Painting this size could actually take you 5 hours to do if you're doing it on a regular canvas. Especially when you start with the underpainting, that'll take even more time because you may have to let the underpainting dry for like a whole day before you can actually paint on it. And we're just going to get this to go blended in here. You have the colors blocked in. And I think I want to use some red in here. Get that lavender kind of a effect going on into the blue. Just keep adding the colors in. Now I'm contemplating changing my channel's name. I've did a community post on this the other day, and I posted a short long play video about this issue as well. And the content of the channel is not going to change all that much, except I'm going to add, I'm going to start doing interviews. The 999 will still, it's going to change the name back to what the original channel name was. And the original channel name was, when I started this channel in 2022, was the 999 Show. And I'm actually going to go back to what it was, but I'm going to drop the article out of it, and it'll just be 999 Show. But then I may not, but maybe in having interviews, I'll bring some artists on and just to talk about techniques and so forth. Inspiration. I might need to use the hair dryer again. I do like the background a lot. The background's really nice. Lots of little strokes. Still need to work on this over here. Hopefully I can get this whole thing done by the 90-minute mark. Maybe we'll put another... Maybe that sail needs to be taller. You think it needs to be taller? I don't know. Just doing this sort of a layered approach. Little lines in here to simulate the movement of water. Oh, crap, I hit the camera, sorry. Put that in here. That was not kind of unexpected, but you know what? It's got some interesting effects here. Let's see how that looks. I think it's starting to take shape. Yeah. I don't like that horizon line very well. I wonder if I can fix that. Maybe. Dry brush it a little bit. It's probably good enough. Is it good enough? I'm thirsty. Well, you know, I haven't cut my hair in almost a year. And hair is getting really long. Yeah, let's go back to that gray color here and put that closer to the horizon line. Feels like this month is half over. Does it feel like that to you? This month is half over already? Okay, come on. Just bring it in. Just kind of working on it. One might be tempted to go grab a larger brush, but resist that temptation because you want to get a good ocean going effect going on here. And if you use a larger brush, when you are doing this, you want a kind of a light and dark and light and dark effect, and you can get that. I'm going to use some of this reflex red right on the surface here. Kind of goes in there. Just kind of adds to the motion of the water. Maybe there's just some spots where the sun is reflecting off everything. If you're just joining, this is Painting Saturday on the 999 ASMR Tarot Visual Textures. And don't forget to push the buttons if you like what you see. A couple buttons, it could really help me out. Thank you. Oh, there I go. All right. Come on, stay. There you go. Like that. Sorry about the silence. It's that in this point of time, you could be using this video as a sleep aid, and all the quiet can help you to get to sleep. Just gonna put this in here, pulling this around different shapes like this, random shapes to get that sense of like motion in the water. A lot of dark over there. We're gonna finish the boats. And you can see, if you've been with me the whole time, you can see that this process is not a fast process. And I'm actually going really fast too. Lighter color values in the front. Going right over the top of my underpainting. Adding more, just picking up this color that I had made over here. There. Kind of just making it in here. A little dark on the front, just trying to also create that illusion of depth in here. It's a 3D painting here. This is glazing fluid that I'm putting right on top of this here. Picking up the colors. In the Amsterdam series, I do not have any fluorescent blue. And that's why I picked up that this reflex red right here to add that in there. I'm going to add a little bit more of that into here. I'll show you what I'm doing. Just kind of picking it up, making it into a lavender color. Already my pristine paint box is now all it's got all the other colors mixed into it. But I want this lavender in here, just to give it some more sparkles. And you know, because because your seas are just the seas are just reflections of the skies. Adding some glazing fluid right into it here, and making this a kind of a darker shade of lavender. I'm going to put this in. I'm going to add more, just thin it down even more. Okay. I'm going to put this back in here. Off in the faraway land. In these different zones, light and dark. Put the dark in there. Make it seem like there's some swells. There's a little bit of like a border over here. I'm going to try to get that out of there, but maybe we won't worry about it too much. I'm going to add this right on the surface. Kind of thins things down. I'm going to get my hair dryer out because this is getting really wet. And give it another... I'm trying to pull this paint across. And then we'll build that boat again. All right, I'm gonna pull this thing out of here because it's bothering me. I don't need it anymore anyway. And we'll put my little sign back. Yeah, actually we'll have this to look at in the background. Okay, all right. Let's go get out the hairdryer again. I'm kind of dizzy here. Just sitting here with my... Okay, I'm going to mute it here. All right. It's a little bit, still pretty wet. Still really wet. I kind of like what's going on over here. The whites and the different colors. Has a little bit more depth to it. I need to do more hair dryer. Okay. Let's see. Let's get moving on here. I need to clean off my glasses. I got a smudge on my glasses. Don't ever get old. You gotta wear glasses when you get old. Well, you don't have to. I'm gonna work on those boats now. Maybe it's got a little house on it. It's not a perfect boat, I'm sorry. This is not a... We're just practicing. It's just a practice painting. It's got its mast. Let's see. Oh, like that, a big sail. Maybe we want to make it like a... And it's got some ropes on it here. And that's no good because it's not even straight. It's got some tension on it. And I do not want to make... I want a thin line, not a thick line. Uh-oh. We screwed that line up. Oh well. Maybe it's got a second sail on it, huh? What color is this other sail going to be? Maybe we'll make a sail yellow. How about that? I haven't done any yellow yet in this. We use the, yeah, let's use this primary yellow. I'll kind of put it right in here. Thin it down with the glazing fluid. Pick it up, and we're doing a big yellow, a big, huge yellow, big yellow. I might actually finish this tomorrow. And cut this thing off in like 3 minutes from now. You can come back at 1 p.m. Tomorrow's show is going to be Crafting Sundays at 1 p.m. on the 1 p.m. Pacific time. I'm on the Pacific coast. So it's the same time as like San Francisco and Seattle. So 9 p.m., 1 p.m. tomorrow afternoon, Seattle time. I'm going to pick up on this thing right where I left off, and we'll just finesse more of the water out, do more of the boats, and then it'll get a little time to dry. And I'll be able to see more clearly after I stare at it for a couple hours to see where it needs to go from there. Because that is actually one of your most valuable painting techniques, is taking a step back, pausing what you're doing, and staring at what you've done, and just look at it. And you sleep on it too, because then you'll wake up in the morning with your... Well, hello, Alex. Welcome. You came right at the end. I'm going to start back in tomorrow at 1 p.m. I know. I'm going to quit here in just a few minutes, and I'm going to finish this painting tomorrow. I'm going to finish this painting at 1 p.m. Seattle time. 1 p.m. Seattle time. I'm going to come back on, and I've been on this for 90 minutes. I need to get up anyways. I need to wash the dishes and do all that stuff I haven't done yet. Mop the floor, good things like that. So anyways, this is all I'm going to do tonight. Okay, so you have to watch a live at 1 p.m. tomorrow on Sunday. Today's Saturday. Well, all right. You can watch it on the replay, Alex. So this is what we did today. started from when I started the painting, it looked like this. It looked like this when I started. And now it looks like this. And so this is part one. We worked on this for 90 minutes, but I also went through all the paints I use for practice paintings. Not all the paints, but just some of them. And, well, that's it. That's it for tonight. I wanted to thank Alex for being here, for White Cliff, for all the contributions that you used here, for Scott Brown, and for Crazy Ender for being here. And I will be back tomorrow for Crafting Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific time. That's Pacific time as in San Francisco and Seattle, and not Pacific time as in Alaska. So for 1 p.m. is like 2 p.m., I think. Is that the way it works? Yeah, that's right. You might be joining back to Oregon. Okay, so I'll be coming on at 1 Sunday, tomorrow afternoon, or, yeah, that's tomorrow afternoon, because I think today's still Saturday. And, yeah, so you might be going back to Oregon. All right. And so then we will finish this painting tomorrow. And maybe I can finish it in under 90 minutes. I think I can probably do that, finish in under 90 minutes. But that's it. I'm going to sign off for now, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.